How do we get good at anything? How do we gain a skill and become really competent at that skill? Is it through hours put in? Is it through effort? Is it through studying? Is it through experience? What is it? I've been thinking about this a lot because of certain conversations I've had lately, and I've come to realize it comes down to 3 words for me, and that is take messy action. Taking messy action is oftentimes really scary. It's hard. It means you're willing to put out work that you don't think is the 100% that you could do, but it's the 80% that you can do right now. I've been thinking about this because somebody asked me a couple weeks ago, if I want to get good at photography, how do I do that? My initial reaction to that question was just go take photos, because that's what I did. I carried my camera around for months and months and months, and I just took photos every day of random things. Most of them were trash. They were horrible photos. But over time, the more photos you take, the better photos you start taking, the more you see, the more you experience, the better you get at whatever it is. I saw this tweet by Naval, who is a sort of philosophical tech entrepreneur from Silicon Valley, and he said, it's not 10,000 hours, it's 10,000 iterations. And I've heard this over and over, but it's so true. The more reps you get in of something, the better you're gonna get at it. And so we can focus so much as artists or people that want to create something in the world on making something perfect, on perfecting this one piece of content or this one piece of music or whatever you're making, that we forget that the more reps we put in, the better we're going to get over time. And so I would rather put out a video a week for a year than spend a year working on one video, because by the end of the year, I'm going to be much more competent and skilled if I did 365 repetitions of something versus if I just tried to do one perfectly. I had a great conversation with my friend Evan a couple weeks ago. Now, Evan, he runs a multi-7-figure business and he has no formal business background. He's built this thing over the last 4 years of just hard work and hustle. He was a firefighter for his entire career until he switched over to this business that he now runs. And I was asking him, like, how did you get good at this? How did you know that you could do this in the first place? It seems to me like somebody who runs a multi-7-figure business would be this sort of different person, that this person that like just knew how to do it from the beginning. And he said, I just take messy action. I feel so uncomfortable every single time I put out a piece of content. I feel so uncomfortable every time I launch a new product, but I just do it because that's what I have to do to build a business. And I was like, wow, that's really unemotional and admirable, because I spend so much time in my head thinking about the different aspects of how good it is or what it means if I put out something that's not good. What if I look stupid? There's all these internal things playing in my head, and I've just decided lately that I'm just gonna change the dial of what it means to be successful to how many reps of something that can I get in a year, in a month. Instead of focusing on how good something is, how good my photos are, how good my videos are, I'm just focusing on how many I can get done in a certain amount of time. And then after 100 or 1,000 or however many I decide, then I'll look up and assess whether or not I'm actually getting better. Whether you're trying to build the skill of photography or video or music or art or business or whatever it is, the more that we can focus on the reps and the more that we can focus on getting 1% better every day, the better we're gonna get at it, right? The first time I sat down and talked in front of a camera, it's super weird. And if you saw all of the mess ups that I have on these videos, you'd be like, wow, he really doesn't know how to talk in front of a camera. And that's the truth. I don't know how. But I've gotten a lot better at it over time, and you just get more comfortable the more reps you do. One of my favorite photography YouTubers is Pat K. And Pat put out a video about how to get better at the skill of photography. And the main idea of the video was that you need to get as many photos as possible within a year. And it doesn't matter if they're good, it doesn't matter if they're bad, but just start taking more photos. And I love that idea. And 39 photos a day comes out to 10,000 photos a year. And if you can get 10,000 photos over a full year, I guarantee you'll be better at taking photos. You will know your camera better, you'll know your settings better, you'll see landscapes and composition differently, and you'll just see things with a different eye. So whatever that is for you, what if you could do 10,000 of those things within your lifetime, within 2 years, within 1 year? What would that look like for you, and how would that change your trajectory of where you're at and where you're going? In my work, so much of what I do is focused on reps. And so I manage YouTube channels, I manage short form content for people, I do podcasts for people, but so much of the feedback and growing an audience is just putting in the repetitions of putting out content regularly. And this is something that I've seen firsthand lately, especially. I've been putting out videos with my friend Ryan for 2 years now. And they are just starting to catch on, and we're going, what's the difference? I mean, the content is getting better, but it's not noticeably better, but it's just the consistency of putting in the work over and over and over and over, week in and week out, video after video after video. You just get better at it. And also you gain momentum, things start to snowball in a positive direction, and then you're off to the races. So if you're struggling to get started with something that you've always wanted to do, maybe just take 3 months and say, I'm not gonna look at the result of what I'm doing for 3 months, at least 3 months. Really should probably go 6 months, but you should do something regularly every day or every week for that amount of time. Don't judge it based on how good or bad you think it is. Don't get discouraged based on you just starting out with a skill and you thinking that it's horrible. Just do it. And by the end of that 3 to 6 months, you will find that you have improved dramatically, probably, at whatever that is. So I hope this helped you in some way. If it did, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next week.